my 10th grade year, I, I started in Bologna with my grandparents, and I got out of hand. I was too much of a rebel, too much. And another thing about my 10th grade year, my ninth grade summer did not start off well, if you can remember that trigger warning video. Well, at the beginning of my 10th grade year, I was going to my dad's every single weekend, and my sister was also going to my dad's. And I told her what had happened because, she had boyfriends all the time, and I really didn't. And I was very standoffish for a while, and she was like, "We've got to change that." And so she was like, she was like, "Okay, first of all, you did not lose your virginity to them, okay? And second of all, it's time for you to take your virginity back. Let's take it back. Who do you want to lose your virginity to?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Well, I had a crush on this boy down the street, and she was like, "All right, we're going to put it in the works for you to be able to go with him and lose your virginity under your power, your decision." You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one in charge. And so, yeah, he ended up coming over and he picked me up, and we went and drove down Misty Lane, and we were drinking and talking, and then yeah, I just got on him and did it. And it was kind of embarrassing, and because I was on my period and it wasn't very fun, and I don't know what I was thinking. But also, at my dad's, there were these three girls that lived down the road, and I was really good friends with them. One was my age, one was right under me, and then one was a little bit younger than me. But they were just right in a row, three girls and three sisters. And I would go over there and I would play with all three of them. But I got along with the middle child the best because I resonated as the middle child. Even though, like, I lived in these different homes, like, one I was the oldest, one I was the youngest, one I was the only child. But I had a big sister, I had a little brother, so I'm a middle child. But it's different for me still. So yeah, I went over to their house because I was gonna brag about how, because me and the middle child over there, we both had had a crush on this same boy, and I was gonna be like, "I lost my virginity to him." And before I could tell her that, she told me that yesterday he came over to her house and asked her out to be her girlfriend, and she said yes, and then he left early, and he went to my house. And oh my gosh, and I didn't have the nerve to tell her. I was like, what do I say now? I certainly can't brag about it. And I was just like, "Wow, you won. I'm so happy that he's your boyfriend now." And yeah, he would come over to my house often in the evenings, and we would have sex, and it really wasn't very good. I wouldn't say often. I would say about 3, 4 times we did that. But yeah, and he wasn't a good boyfriend. So I really didn't want him as a boyfriend, and it didn't really matter. And later on, another girl moves into town, and she's like gonna steal him from us. And I was like, "Girl, take him. You can have him." And she did, and she ended up having his baby. And yeah, so my grandparents got suspicious that I'm having sex, and so they took me to a gynecologist, and it turns out that I had chlamydia. And so I had to tell him about it, and I was so embarrassed, and he was like, "You're a slut, you gave it to me." And I was like, "How in the heck? I lost my virginity to you." And it's like, I completely forgot about that other incident. You know what I mean? It was really weird. But yeah, I had to take the medicines for chlamydia, and I was just like, "How did I give it to you? I lost my virginity to you." And yeah, it was crazy. And my aunt and my grandparents and all of them on that side of the family were really disappointed in me, and they asked me why I kept my purity ring even though I knew that I wasn't having sex anymore. And I was just like, "I don't know." And the reason why is because I don't know. It's like I felt like I didn't get a choice, with the sexual assault incident that happened. And then I felt like I had to take my power back from it. And so that's kind of why I just didn't see it I don't know. I guess I didn't see it the same, and I didn't tell them about the sexual assault. I really did. I was forgetting about it. I forgot about it for years until I'd grown up and started going to therapy. It came back up, and I was like, "Whoa, this was horrible." We did a lot of therapy work around that incident. So yeah, I lost my virginity. I chose to, and I became a slut. I guess it is what it is. And I ended up moving with my mother. And at this time, my mother was living outside the city in another town, and she was remarried to my stepdad. So I was happy about that. And yeah, this little rinky dink town, I remember the first day of school or enrolling in school at this little rinky dink town. And I was telling them how I'm in all advanced classes, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. We'll just let you know right now, we only have one English class for your grade. We only have one math class for your grade, and all the students are in that class. We believe that every student should get a well-rounded education and everybody's together. And I knew right then and there that I probably was not going to fit in. And yeah, schoolwork, became extremely easy. Oh my gosh, it was like all of a sudden I was back in fifth grade work. And here I was in 10th grade doing fifth grade work, which is, okay, here you go. Turn it in and move on, right? So schoolwork became very easy. And my cousin, like I said, I would go visit her on the weekends, and we got into all kinds of stuff. And yeah, oh my goodness, there was this boy that all the girls loved. And he was blonde hair, blue eyes, he was built. Okay, yeah, he was gorgeous, but come on, girls, like all the girls are on him. He's not going to be any good. Like I could tell that. And my cousin wanted to date him. And so she set up a double date with me, him, and another, football player type dude, another built dude and macho dude. And I never was attracted to guys like that. And I remember going on this double date with them, and oh my gosh, it just wasn't any good. And I remember when she was getting ready, and they came and knocked on the door, and I went to let them in, and this guy, the guy that she was dating, the hottie, he hit on me, and it made me so mad that you're gonna hit on me while you're dating my cousin. Like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I never liked him. He was no good, but my cousin really liked him, and one of her best friends really liked him. And I think one of her best friends, they were boyfriend and girlfriend. And while she went on this date, and I advised her not to, but she did anyway. And this is one that I'm not going to take. She did it, but I remember that. And then he had a cousin, a nerdy cousin, and whenever I saw him, I was like, why didn't you bring him on the double date? And he was like, why would you want me to bring him? I have a thing for nerds. I convinced my cousin and my friends to help me hook up with this dude, with this nerd dude. And we did. And I would start going over to his house on the weekends for a little bit. And I remember hanging out in his room and making out with him. And I was thinking it was all great. And then I remember one weekend we went, and he was with another girl and like hugging on her and kissing her. And I was just like, it broke my heart, because like I don't go for the pretty boys because I know that they're going to cheat on me. And so I don't want that. I want someone that would actually take me seriously, that I would take them seriously, and we could be together for a long term. That's what I wanted, was a long-term relationship. I wanted to find a husband that could help me be the mother that I wanted to be, because I wanted to be a mom. I wanted a baby girl more than anything in the world. And so I was looking for a husband, and I knew that them pretty boys were not husband and dad material. And this nerdy boy, he cheated on me. He did. He cheated on me. And I realized that, yeah, even the nerdy boys will cheat on you. And so, yeah, it was a heartbreak. It was a heartbreak and a half. And then, like, on the weekends, we would party all kinds of times. And we would like go downtown and be like just riding around downtown. We would call it like going down the strip. I forget what we called it, but yeah, we would ride downtown. And one time we met with these college boys who, there's a college town about like 40 miles down the road. There was a college. And so these frat boys were there and they invited us to a frat party. And so we went to that frat party and it was a crazy wild party. It was a lot of fun, and driving home was a lot of fun. But that night, driving to the frat party, it was like early in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. We're driving to this frat house to go to a party, and we're all drunk, and I'm in my Isuzu Stylus. I think we got like 10, 12 girls all up in this car, and we're driving down, and we get pulled over by a cop. And no, actually, I wasn't driving because I knew that I was drunk, and my cousin, who was just as drunk as me, we had her driving, and so we were trying to switch because I had the license, she didn't have the license. And so yeah, this cop pulls us over, and like he could tell, like, I don't know, I think he could tell that we were all young kids and drunk. And he's like, what are y'all doing? We're just like, we're just trying to get home. And he ended up letting us go. He told us to go, but he said that, you know, because we were like, oh, we thought that she could drive or something. I don't know what we said, but yeah, he said that I had to drive, but we can go. And I was so nervous and so scared, but I drove, and we went to this frat party, and that's where I met my boyfriend. And this guy, who he was a college football player, and he had lots of money, and he would ride us girls around in his truck, and his dad had a nice Corvette, and he picked me up from my house one time in that, and my mom was like, ooh, who are you dating? And I was really into him for a while until we had sex. I had sex with him, and I didn't like it, and I regretted it. And he got out of bed naked, and I saw him, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore, and I broke up with him. Yeah. And at the time, I still had my waitress job at this time. I was waitressing so that I could make enough gas money to go party on the weekends. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Gosh. Also back then, I mean, if I say I went to Walmart and got something, I stole it. That's what I did. I was a little thief. Bad. And a lot of teenage girls are little thieves. And it's not good. And our society acts like girls are sweet and innocent, and they're not. And that's part of why I'm putting this out there. I want y'all to see, you know, I wasn't as sweet as innocent as I played off or seemed to be. So yeah, and that's another thing that I wanted to say. If I do have time, whenever in my 9th grade year, whenever I became a skater chick, as soon as my cousin saw me and saw me wearing that baggy clothes and stuff, she was like, no way. And she was like my stylist, and she always wanted me to be preppy. And yeah, so it was like and every time I went over to my cousin's house, she was like, no. And then she would redress me. And so, yeah, I never was very good at being stylish. For me, I don't care if it's stylish or not. I want to look different. I want to look like me. I want to look comfortable. So I'm not very good at being stylish in my clothes, but I'm good at being me. And so that's how it is. So yeah, okay, so there you go. There's the rest of my 10th grade year, and I hope that you're enjoying it so far. Thank you so much for being here, and always be blessed with love. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.